Ladies, gentlemen, honorable dignitaries, and distinguished guests. It's a matter of great honor for me to address you today on an issue that transcends borders, cultures, and politics, the critical mission of demining for forging a safer and more peaceful world. Landmines are weapons that do not distinguish between a combatant or a civilian, an adult or a child, between times of war and times of peace. Even years after conflict have ceased, these hidden threats continue to claim lives, devastate communities, and hinder development. Today, as we gather to discuss our path forward, India reaffirms its commitment to playing a proactive and constructive role in landmine action for a safer world. When I first heard of Horizon's vision for a better post-conflict environment the world over, my immediate thoughts went to Princess Diana, who was a strong advocate for a global ban on landmines, and her efforts had a far-reaching impact. In 1997, she triggered a worldwide conversation on the fight against lethal devices by walking through a live minefield in Angola. This symbolic act raised awareness of the suffering caused by landmines and led to increased public support for a ban on these. Mines, however, continue to be used by armed forces all over the world, owing to the inherent advantage in terms of protection that they afford to a defender. The laying of minefields is simpler, and despite the fact that each mine is properly recorded, it is the post-conflict recovery which leads to casualties. This was experienced by us during Operation Parakaram. In the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict, millions of landmines have been laid, with recent estimates indicating that Ukraine is now one of the most heavily mined areas in the world, making vast stretches of its territory hazardous. As per United Nations Mine Action Service, since 1989, about 45,000 Afghan civilians have been killed or injured by landmines and explosive remnants of war, averaging to around 104 people per month. Improvised mines and explosive remnants of war from armed clashes caused nearly 99% of the casualties recorded in 2023. While these figures are of a recent past, estimates do suggest that there are approximately 60 to 100 million active landmines still buried in around 60 countries worldwide. These devices, which lie dormant in the soil, do not discern who or what sets them off. For civilians living in areas marked by conflict, landmines are not just relics of the past, they are a present, potent, and very real danger. These hidden threats are woven into the fabric of daily life, making even the simplest task like going to school or farming a great risk. India fully understands the impact of these hidden killers. In several border areas and conflict zones, landmines were once a tactical measure to safeguard national security. Today, however, our focus is not just on security, but also on humanitarian concerns, on ensuring the safety of civilians, restoring communities, and protecting the future. India has been committed to mine action for decades. India's contribution in civilian mine action program as per the amended protocol 2 can be traced back to 2003 in Sri Lanka. A nation's dedication to the mine clearance is not limited to only our borders. Through various cooperative initiatives like ASEAN Defence Ministers Meeting and the subject matter expert exchange programs, we have not only shared our knowledge, expertise, and best practices with friendly foreign countries, but have also imbibed practice that enhance our ability to reinforce India's role as a contributor to regional and global peacekeeping efforts. Additionally, India has also assisted in both mine clearance and clearance training in Cambodia, Laos, Angola, Benin, and Afghanistan. Achieving a world free of landmine threats will require unity, commitment, action from the international community. India envisions a world where civilians can live without fear, where communities can flourish, and where devastating legacy of landmines is finally relegated to history. We advocate for a phased and sustainable approach, supporting efforts affected countries in developing their own land mine action capacities. Horizon Group India, I am told, has carried out 16 demining projects in Sri Lanka between 2003 and 2012. Horizon's demining efforts in Sri Lanka included clearing landmines, rehabilitating victims, providing medical assistance, evacuating patients to local hospitals, and providing special assistance to mine victims for medical treatment and resettlement. Horizon India's support has reached far and wide, helping countries like Jordan and Kuwait also. Your contribution to Landmine Action have not only assisted in the rehabilitation of war-torn nations, but have also bolstered India's reputation on the global stage. Indian Army also has developed considerable expertise in landmine detection and clearance, particularly in sensitive areas along our borders. Our military personnel are among the most skilled in the world in mine detection, demining, and their disposal. They are well trained, resilient, and committed to the highest standards of safety and efficiency. The fact that Horizon Group is the first Indian NGO of and for Indian ex-servicemen dedicated to post-conflict environment management with core competency in humanitarian demining speaks of the contribution they make in the field of affording opportunities and employment to ex-servicemen. Not only do you exploit the exceptional potential acquired by a soldier during service, but also contribute towards humanitarian pursuits the world over. This is indeed commendable. While India stands firm on its pledge to help build a world where peace, security, and humanity takes precedence, I urge the participants to take their momentum from the symposium forward, fostering a pathway towards a safer and more human future. I wish you all a productive and enlightening discussion during this particular symposium. And finally, a big thank you to Horizon for bringing us together to tackle this pressing global issue. I wish them success in their mission to create a safer environment for future generations. Thank you and Jai Hind.